we know he's capable of doing. Back on the Yamaha particularly, of course.
And it's something that only he can really explain, I guess. And there's only really him that ever knows what's going on. MotoGP, you know, everyone sees the results from the outside, but they have no
they don't
idea
know the full story of what
else. And on, you know, in such a competitive class such as MotoGP or British Superbike or whatever championship.
Marc Marquez, the 93, what's he got for us this weekend? Can Valentino Rossi make a comeback on the top?
Amazing place to ride a MotoGP bike. I've not been lucky enough to actually have a chance on one yet, but maybe one day I'll get a little black.
But then that section's designed for you. Long levers, obviously strong.
Physical effort it takes to go from right to left and back to right again is so hard on them that they're actually getting
a little bit intrigued as to why they might have hired Danny Pedrosa to develop the KTM.
That's a good point, actually, because you feel like...
And maybe a bit of an easier bike to ride than anything else. You know, is the KTM harder to ride through the corners? Obviously, I don't really know. But
massive operation, it's a massive manufacturer across so many disciplines, but they want to make this KTM
tyre to see if it lasts, so he knows, because you know what he's like, he knows that he's going to get the best out of the tyre on these first two laps.
Another problem you get at Silverstone as well, of course, if you get a bit of a breeze, there's not one today, sometimes you wonder why you can't get it online. Why can't Smith have mentioned it at Phillip Island, didn't he? He didn't like it at Phillip Island when you got near a motorbike. It was really...
Yeah, the turbulence really off.
Yeah, still in the bike, the M1 Yamaha. I wonder what the Suzuki's going to be down here. It was Maverick Vinales, wasn't it, that had a win here?
The Suzuki cannot tell when it changes gear on the downshift at all.
That's interesting.
It's a single note from shutting off. Or
very interesting.
We've said this before, all these different motorcycles, different riders, different riding styles, different way you look at the Honda competition.
Different ways of doing the same thing and getting to that same point. Can't make it up, can you? It's absolutely brilliant. We're in a great position.
You know, that was literally, that's like a compound issue, because it wasn't like it was spinning, it was just literally mechanic. I've never seen that before, have you?
Put them everywhere this week.
We had an on-board mechanic camp.
Can't beat him. On the deck, picks the bike up. So Marc Marquez has slipped off the Repsol Honda, and yeah,
late.
Just picked the throttle up in the middle.
I think he's just let go of the brake.
No, he never even got it.
I reckon he was just about. Just about.
No, that's actually on the race weekends. How many? Because you know, there's sometimes when, you know, especially in Sepang, start of the year, they'll go, oh yeah,
like Mr. Mina, halfway around the track, but he got it back sorted. Then there's no Dobby. You need to destabilise him. And Dobby, I don't think even he thought he could do it. But Austria. Yes, he does.
I mean, the softer rear works against you, because then you've got the tendency where
it's pushing.
That's pushing. So yeah, you sort of.
And it also shows you how accurate the Dorna graphics are to give you that indication as it happened. The weekend as well. Put some mileage in this man, not just on racetrack, but for his fans as well. I'm always stuck.
Stride into his dominance, and people are saying already, well, Marquez is going to be the GOAT. And some of the things I've read, and I've got to say,
paddock and into around the world for global motorcycling.
It's a bit like John Mack at the TT in a way.
I can tell you.
You didn't even need a ladder, you could just lift your arm up, that was it. Skim that ceiling.
Ceilings are easy.
Here's Maverick Vinales. He had a little off this morning,
which is rare. Mav's not a crasher.
No, but it was at the same time, same place as
the lap before. Actually, Vinales made a bit of a mistake while we were chatting about something else. Vinales went straight on at the first complex.
Also, you can get to the limit because you've got, I guess, the benefit of being able to. If you're getting a bit deep,
he never rests. He's always developing and changing. Let's have a quick look at the left handlebar. He's got that thumb full caliper. So some people put the two systems go into one. So whenever you press one and press the other, he's always working, always developing, looking for a little bit more. We know he's tried that BMX one, which Peter will give you a little bit more.
And how have you found then, you know, because we're using the rear brake, so when we're saying like BMX rears.
So I've never used a rear brake on my foot. I've never found I have enough finesse or feel with it. And something we've been playing with, Sykes did when I rode for the World Superbike team at Donington. How he uses the rear brake was really interesting.
The bike turn.
Yeah, entrance and also stability of the bike. So actually using it just before the front brake to be able to blow before the front, and then using it again on the latter parts of where Mark is about now starting to use the rear brake again.
Still be a little bit on the throttle as well, just to load that front. That defies any logic.
Just the crossover, so a lot
that you could use or have used.
Little bits in places, but again, a British
down or walking, whether he's down or not. Can't see much scuffing going on with his.
That was a lock.
That's seized.
Oh, that's a horrible thing as well.
Because you know what I mean? He's like the least PC rider in this paddock. If you listen to some of his debriefs, they're pretty good.
Or with another invoice back.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, we've worked it out, you or us.
In the second hairpin in the complex, he just, similar mistake to maybe Marquez, where he just picked the throttle up as he let go of the front.
About Michelin tyres, how they've got these massive overlaps between each of the compounds, and that's worked so well. All the manufacturers,
which is better than this morning. It's got that feeling that he might not even bother. You know what I mean? How many weeks off after this? We've got 1 weekend off, haven't we?
Yeah, we're 2 weekends off.
2 weekends off,
yeah,
so
we've got 2 weekends.
It probably wouldn't.
He's in at this moment in time.
Well,
if he moved too quick to one that's more difficult.
Exactly. It could obviously
just stuffed it under a Repsol Honda.
Just duffed him.
As at church, that is, Edu Maggot.
Quartararo is just going to walk away from him at this pace.
He looks so good on it as well, doesn't he? He looks so at home.
Because you know it's going to do it, and you're comfortable, and that's what we're seeing with Quartararo. That same sort of, I just think we're still a little bit stiff on the front end, and
just those minute changes that
and you're like,
about rear brakes. Quartararo was on the rear brake right as he turned in. Just as he turned in, he didn't touch it until the point where...
Going the Pons team, and everyone went, I tell you what, how's he got that right? That's a great opportunity. We know Cito Pons team
was critical at that time. Oscar he understands what's going on. Even when he was having that row with Sam.
The right people around you with experience. I'm talking about the managerial side of your career, because you can imagine
that's it.
In fact, I think every motorcycle rider should do a bit of bricklaying and plastering, just so you can appreciate what the professional motorcycle racer. So there's something about having had to have done a little bit of hard graft in your time.
Zarco's birth.
I mean, that shot
That's
just
beautiful, isn't it?
Where's he going to rider? Essentially quit. So that's what we've seen, and that's unfortunately what the whole paddock's seen. And in my brain, I don't think I know Pete. You know, literally, that's like quit.
I've known people quit because they wanted to quit.
On crashing and kept on trying to work it out.
My worry as well is that he brought in Jean-Michel Bayle to look after him. Now, Jean-Michel
somewhere, or Rossi's going to quit at the end of the year. He's not going to see his 2 years out. I don't know what it is. That's another story altogether. That's an illness issue.
Well, I think as well, case of that, perhaps with Zarco underlying as well.
Yeah, potentially.
We really understood it at the time. We understand it even less right now.
Or 60 degrees.
Yeah. Or does he rue the day?
We were talking about Dovi earlier being extremely clinical and really thought out with every move he ever makes. Or like Dovi making mistakes because he's calculated everything and worked out, well, if I do that, I'll make a mistake.
Do you know, it's interesting talking to Cal, and Cal might disagree with what I'm going to say. He listens to our programmes back.
But cycle, if you go back to the 80s with Freddie Spencer, the first time I ever saw a man warm his tyres up by turn, it was impossible. It was and it was impossible for the entire field. There was nobody he spoke to.
Something else.
Well, you're applying short track stuff now on road circuits.
Roads.
I mean, that's the bit that I've noticed.
What did that feel like when you saw the picture?
Yeah, there was a lot of expletives of happiness.
What did you do?
This morning, he was the only man under the 2 minutes. We might still see that yet, but it's warmed up a lot. Now, I don't quite believe it just yet. So that checker flag comes out.
And the weather looks good tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Back in the day, you did lean the wrong way. That's all I'm going to say.
Is that how you made the Superbike work back
far? Scraping everything on the floor. Still does.
Morbidelli was up to 4.
I think the track's gone off with the heat. I think the track is slower this afternoon. Too much heat in it. Miller goes third.
That was a good slide.
He's about to turn in, look, and change his mind because of Rins.
Then Rins looks to see where he is. Where is it? Danilo's problems will have definitely gone for this weekend. Almost like he had some issue going on, and I don't think it was.
Did you read it?
There's a lot to be said for that, overthinking things.
I never have.
Usually
off the scale it would go here at Silverstone. I'll tell you what.
Off the scale around the world, I think.
Yep.
Wow.
Quartararo.
Wow.
Marquez as well. Morbidelli.
Oliveira's up to the 5th.
Vignales 59.7. There's a
rare mistake.
We've got 2 monitors here conflicting. The one that you're seeing at home. Marquez 59.4 now. I'm going to trust the Sport 2. Qualifying from midday, and then the British Grand Prix.
No, who's that?
Karen Abraham again. That's FP1, and now FP2, turn 18. That's a bit quick through there. You won't want to. We're seeing quite a lot of snags there as Cal Pratto gets into 59s. Yeah.
Using too much curve at the end.
Yeah. Just got that little. Barry Sheen to Kenny Roberts going back to 1979. 40 years ago here.
It's only a little tiny bit again, isn't it?
Do you know? There's 59.4, new outright circuit record. He is the fastest man around.
Obviously, Triumph's got their new 765 Moto2 bike, which they've released for the road, which is basically bought outright.
No, it was 59.9.
59.9.
Yeah. I love that new helmet design Cal's got as well.